Hello, my name is Maggie Braun. I have a background in ecosystem management, and this is an online deputation to all Canadian municipalities on the FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, ICLEI, International Council on Local Environmental Initiatives, Partners for Climate Protection Program, or PCP. Its origin and aim: supporting rationale, other considerations, benefits and disadvantages, and recommendations. 2 years after Canada signed on to Agenda 21, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities created the Partners for Climate Protection Program and sent a municipal primer to all Canadian municipalities, promoting sustainable development through local strategic action. Sustainable development is a term coined in the Brundtland Commission, stating that land cannot be treated as an ordinary asset controlled by individuals, and public control of land use is indispensable. On page 9 of the municipal primer is a flow chart showing how Agenda 21 would be implemented through Canadian municipalities. This is a blueprint for achieving sustainable development. Notice the means of implementation: promoting education, public awareness and training, and information for decision-making. The Partners for Climate Protection Program is a means of implementation, providing information for decision-making based on Agenda 21 or UN directives. The PCP program offers tools, networking venues and events, case studies, and other informational resources, and access to the PCP Secretariat, who offers coaching and technical assistance. The supporting rationale for the program is that it is well established that climate change is increasing the frequency of extreme weather events, and these pose a serious threat to our natural environment, our health, our jobs, and our economy, and that Canada is committed to limiting the global temperature increase to below 2 degrees Celsius, according to the Paris Agreement. The Municipal Primer of 1994 states that human activities have resulted in changes in global climate and are expected to do so in the future, and that a lack of scientific certainty shall not be used as a reason for postponing sustainable development. Let's jump ahead 30 years and consider the World Climate Declaration, signed by almost 1,900 scientists, stating that there is no climate change emergency. Climate science should be less political, while climate policy should be more scientific. Scientists should openly address uncertainties and exaggerations in their predictions of global warming, while politicians should dispassionately count the real cost as well as the imagined benefits of their policy measures. The following slides are a combination of direct quotes from the World Climate Declaration and peer-reviewed studies with references. Only 0.3% of published scientists stated in their papers that recent warming was mostly man-made. Natural factors, as well as anthropogenic factors, cause climate change. The Earth's orbit and tilt drive glacial and interglacial changes. The Geological Archive reveals that the Earth's climate has varied as long as the planet has existed. The Little Ice Age ended as recently as 1850. Therefore, it is no surprise that we are experiencing a period of warming. This research alone would suggest that human activities have little impact on the global climate compared to natural factors. And because of these factors, it is not possible to limit the global temperature increase to below 2 degrees Celsius. The world has warmed significantly less than predicted by the IPCC, that is, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the main source of research for the Partners of Climate Protection Program. The gap between the real world and the modeled world tells us we are far from understanding climate change. These models exaggerate the effect of greenhouse gases. CO2 is not a pollutant. It is the basis of all life on Earth. CO2 is not the primary greenhouse gas. Water vapor is. CO2 makes up only 0.04% of the Earth's atmosphere. And the warming effect of CO2 declines as its concentrations increase. The IPCC models also ignore the benefits of additional CO2 in the atmosphere. CO2 is plant food, and additional CO2 in the air promotes growth in the global plant biomass. More CO2 means moister soil worldwide. It is profitable for agriculture, increasing the yields of crops worldwide. Global warming has not increased natural disasters. There is no statistical evidence that global warming is intensifying natural disasters or making them more frequent. Most of Antarctica is cooling and gaining ice. Extreme heat events are declining. Forest fires are declining in the 19th century. And there's a long-term decline in hurricanes hitting the United States. The frequency of extreme tornadoes are also declining, as well as droughts worldwide. There are more polar bears today than 50 years ago. And warmer weather means fewer temperature-related deaths. And that is because the cold kills far more people than the heat every year. Again, there is no statistical evidence that climate change is increasing the frequency of extreme weather events or posing a serious threat to our natural environment, our health, our jobs, or our economy. And I would state that a lack of scientific certainty should be used as a reason for postponing sustainable development. There is ample evidence that CO2 mitigation measures are as damaging as they are costly. Climate policy must respect both scientific and economic realities. There is no climate emergency, therefore, there is no cause for panic or alarm. We strongly oppose the harmful and unrealistic net zero CO2 policy proposed for 2050. Go for adaptation instead of mitigation. Adaptation works, whatever the causes are. We've already gone over the benefits of the program, and of course, it's free, so what's the catch? Official plans based on sustainable development restrict private property rights, restrict severances, limit mobility, drive future population growth to selected settlement areas, reduce the tax revenue for smaller municipalities, and this leads to reduced services. We've seen the results of this with our towns being downgraded to villages, our villages to hamlets, our hamlets to ghost towns, rural homes abandoned, the land left unoccupied, and bought up by foreign investors. Municipal plans drafted by the PCP will have an emphasis on UN directives, so-called sustainable development, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and gender diversity and inclusion, which they are incorporating into the municipal climate action plans. Adopting PCP compliant plans will bind the council and municipality to UN directives. Council's decision-making options will be limited to UN directives. This will cost council, committee, and staff time and wages. Council will be asked to endorse and commit public funds to private sustainable development goals, and councillors who oppose the UN directives will face the Integrity Commissioner, would now be bound to the UN directives. Public consultation will be limited to UN directives. Our public surveys will be limited to UN directive options. Pick your top 3 sustainable development action items. Does that sound like a choice? Deputations will be denied if opposed to the UN directives. See the letter from the City of Aurelia. The deputation is denied because the city considers its decision-making options under the broad umbrella of these United Nations directives. Thankfully, the PCP program is completely voluntary. You can leave the program at any time and you do not have to join. The council is the governing body of the municipality, the custodians of its power. The Partners for Climate Protection program is asking council to endorse a motion to bind the council's decision-making options to United Nations directives. This choice is completely up to you. Our recommendation is that the Council not support any motion to participate in the Partners for Climate Protection program. And if you've already joined, we recommend that Council support a motion to reconsider and rescind the original motion. For an example, see the City of Thorold's motion for February 7th, 2023. With that, I thank you for your time and consideration. And if you have any questions, reach out to me at gather2030@protonmail.com and gather2030.substack.com for more information on UN directive programs